How a poor boy built the biggest car company of Korea. Hyundai is one of the few car companies that has been around for more than 100 years, and it's all because of the visionary Chung Ju-young. This is the story of a boy who once worked 17 hours a day in the fields just for one meal. So, what did this boy do that helped him build a car company worth billions? In the first episode of Rags to Riches, I'll tell you the complete story of this Korean boy's incredible journey. But before that, I would like to introduce Hana Advisors. We Hana provide end-to-end all services to Korean business who want to expand in India. More about this later in the video. Let's start with Chung's early life. Chung Ju-young was born in 1915 in a small forgotten village in Korea. Past then, there is no North and South Korea. They are all one. From the very start, life wasn't easy. As a child, Chung dreamed of becoming a school teacher, but poverty had other plans. His family was so poor that the thought of education was a luxury they couldn't afford. Instead of school books, Chung's hands were filled with the rough tools of farm work. Day after day, he worked in the fields with his family, sweating under the harsh sun just to put a meal on the table. Yet even after all that backbreaking labor, many nights they went to bed hungry. Imagine what that kind of hunger does to a person, not just to their body but to their spirit. But for Chung, something even deeper was happening. As a young boy, he would often travel to the nearby city to sell wood. It was there in the bustling streets that he saw a world so different from his own. People had enough to eat. They wore clean clothes. Their faces weren't weathered by endless hours in the fields. It was like looking into a life he could only dream of. And as he watched this world unfold before him, a thought kept echoing in his mind. Why can't I have this life too? Then one day, a chance came. He saw a newspaper that spoke of a big construction project in a nearby city. They were looking for laborers, and in that moment, a spark ignited in him. He was just 16 years old, but that article became the turning point. He decided to run away, to leave behind the fields, the hunger, the struggle. It wasn't just about escaping, it was about finding a better life. So, he and a friend began a journey that would change everything. They walked over 160 kilometers, their legs aching, their bodies tired, but the hope of a new future kept them moving. Finally, they reached Kowon. It was here that Chung found his first job as a construction laborer. The work was hard and the pay was small, but it didn't matter. For the first time in his life, he was earning his own money, and it felt like a glimpse of freedom. But just as quickly as he found that freedom, it was snatched away. 2 months later, his father tracked him down and brought him back to the village, back to the fields, back to the hunger. The independence he had tasted slipped through his fingers, and the weight of returning to the same life was crushing. But something had changed in him during those 2 months, something that couldn't be undone. Chung had seen what was possible, and now, there was no turning back. He tried to escape again, not once, but twice. And each time his father found him and forced him to return. But with each attempt, Chung's resolve grew stronger. Then, in 1934, at the age of 18, he made his fourth attempt. And this time, no one stopped him. He made it to Seoul, and this is where his real journey began. It was the start of a story that no one could have imagined. A story of grit, determination, and the relentless pursuit of a better life. First taste of success. In Seoul, Chung did whatever work he could find. He worked as a laborer, in factories, and finally as a delivery boy for a rice shop. Within just 6 months, he impressed the shop's owner so much that he was promoted to store manager. By the age of 22, something incredible happened. The shop's owner, who had fallen seriously ill, handed over the business to Chung. Imagine that. In just a few short years, he had gone from a poor farm boy to the owner of a successful business. For the next 2 years, Chung worked hard, grew the business, and built a solid reputation. Everything seemed to be going well, but life had another curveball for him. It was during World War II, and Korea was under Japanese control. The Japanese government took over all the rice shops, including Chung's. This would seem like the end for most people. All of his hard work was wiped away in an instant, but for Chung, it was just another hurdle. Chung has a thought to build cars, but back then there was absolutely no. The birth of Hyundai. Chung believed in one simple idea. If I put my heart into any work, I will succeed. So after losing his rice shop, he began thinking about what kind of business the Japanese government couldn't take over. That's when he turned to car repair. In 1940, he borrowed money and opened a car repair garage. But disaster struck again. The garage caught fire within just a month, burning everything to the ground. This could have broken anyone's spirit, but not Chung's. He took out another loan, rebuilt the garage, and focused on making repairs faster than anyone else. Where other garages took 20 days, Chung's team could do the same job in 5 days. His business grew rapidly, and by 1943 he had 80 employees. This small garage was the first step toward something much bigger. But as always, another challenge was waiting. During the war, Japan took control of his business yet again. Chung had to return to his village, but this time, he had saved enough money to start over. With World War II over and Korea free from Japanese rule, Chung returned to Seoul in 1946. He restarted his car repair business, but this time under a new name, Hyundai Auto Service. Hyundai, which means modern in Korean, was going to revolutionize the future, construction and big ambitions. While running his car repair business, Chung noticed something interesting. America was building military bases and needed construction companies to do the job. This was a golden opportunity. In 1947, he started Hyundai Civil Works Company and entered the construction business, despite having no formal experience in this field. His passion and determination won him several small projects, and soon, his company was taking on major projects, including roads, bridges, and dams. By the 1950s, Hyundai had become one of Korea's largest construction companies. But as you might have guessed, life threw another curveball. In 1950, the Korean War broke out, and Chung had to flee Seoul with his family. But even during the war, he took on construction projects for the U.S. Army, cementing his reputation as a reliable businessman, from roads to cars. By the 1960s, Hyundai had built thousands of kilometers of roads. Chung's construction business was thriving, but he wasn't satisfied. What's the point of building all these roads if we don't have cars to drive on them, he thought. So in 1967, Chung took the next big leap. He founded Hyundai Motor Company. He had already realized that if he wanted to grow the car business, staying confined to Korea wouldn't be enough because, at that time, there was almost no demand for cars in Korea. But expansion was the need of the hour. So what did he do to make Hyundai cars start ruling the world? This makes one thing clear. If you want to grow any business, expanding across borders is very important. And if you have a big plan to expand, let me tell you something. We are Hana advisors, and we help small businesses from South Korea expand their presence in India. Right now, India is a great place to expand, with plenty of opportunities for growth. So if you are planning to expand or have any future plans, I can guide you step by step, from handling tax issues to setting up everything for you. Just mail me or message me on Kakao Talk. Now back to the topic. To expand across the globe, Chung also chose a local player to understand the U.S. car market. At first, Hyundai partnered with Ford to assemble cars, but Chung had bigger dreams. He didn't want to just assemble cars. He wanted to build South Korea's very own car. In 1976, Hyundai launched the Pony, South Korea's first mass-produced car. It wasn't perfect. The car had many issues in the international market, but it was affordable and a huge hit in Korea. Despite setbacks, Hyundai continued to improve, and by 1982, their second model, Pony 2, became a massive success not only in Korea, but also in Africa, Latin America, and Canada, cracking the U.S. market. But Hyundai still had one major goal: to succeed in the United States, the toughest car market in the world. Hyundai's strategy was brilliant. They targeted the subcompact car market, offering the Hyundai Excel at the price of a second-hand car. This bold move worked. In 1986, Hyundai sold 170,000 Excels in the U.S., and by the next year, that number had grown to 260,000. Hyundai had officially arrived on the global stage, a lasting legacy. In 1987, at the age of 72, Chung retired, handing over the reins to his family. Under their leadership, Hyundai continued to grow. Today, Hyundai is the world's third-largest car company, selling over 40 million cars in 2022 alone. But Hyundai isn't just about cars. The Hyundai Group has over 42 companies, including Hyundai Heavy Industries, the world's largest shipbuilder. It's amazing to think that all of this started with a boy from a poor village who had nothing but hard work, vision, and determination. Chung Ju-young's story is proof that with enough passion and persistence, anyone can overcome the toughest challenges and achieve greatness. And don't forget to send your problems and queries regarding expanding your business in mail or Kakao Talk. We will help you our journey to become #1. If you found this story inspiring, click on this video to learn how to expand your business in India.